Welcome to the band show.
Singers, let the music play loud. Till the dawn breaks through, we'll dance through the crowd. It's a fight worth fighting with a heart full of
Hey,
pride.
welcome back to the Bad Hand Show. How are you guys
In this
doing?
crazy
Hopefully
world,
the
we're on a
life is
high.
treating you well.
Living out loud, but the cost of
And
living high.
let's just jump into this, right?
But I
No,
won't say goodbye.
if you know, I've been wanting to do craft fair shows, but it's like a big investment. So I'm thinking about a workaround by getting a peddler's license. I did some research, and you can get it for a day, you can get it for a month, 2 months, or a year. So I'm really considering that, just getting a table and finding a nice corner, and I think that's the closest thing to, at the moment, doing a craft show fair. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, I think it's a good idea. It's really, if you've never been that type of person, it's something you really have to come out of your comfort zone on it. So that's been my thing for ever since the year started, trying to do things that takes me out of my norm, my comfort zone, and just doing it. So I like the fact you can just buy a license for a day as well. But it would probably take you a month to really, get all your stuff together. Not a month, but you probably would want to do the month one, because it would probably take you a week to really get all however you want it. It's just do a couple of signs, hopefully a table, and just find a good corner, and just, it's nothing to do but make sure your signage stands out. I don't know, it was just something, I was watching TV all weekend, and for something that just kept coming into my mind. So that's one of the ways we're going to try to, because I think after that, once you can do that, I feel like being at a craft fair show should come easy and natural, because it's the same process as far as you setting up your table or tent or booth, however you feel that, because that's all too is what entices customers to come to see what you have in there, because of how you have it set up. So that's some of the things we're going to try. We're going to, the summer's approaching. I see people doing it all the time, right? But you never think about it. Most of the time, small businesses do think about craft fairs, unless you're like a food vendor or something like that. Then that you might think more along those lines, as far as just being on the street that way. But so yeah, I think that's what we're going to try to do this summer sometime, and just get that going. And don't have to be a lot, but I do have a lot of little knickknacks that I sell, and so hey, I'm working on some bracelets and things like that. But that is a part of business and a part of understanding advertising and marketing, right? Because sometimes, like I said, we get caught up in just creating, and we forget that advertising is a big part of it. So learning different ways to go about advertising your business, your brand, can only help, I feel like, So marketing, advertising, that's what we're talking about today. Because another thing I've found, I'm moving around. Another thing I found too is like the fourth wall. I don't know, it's a drop shipping thing that before I did the Flip app. I think I was talking about that last week. Yeah, I did. And Okay, so then I was looking for something else, that would help me as well. And like I said, before I did Flip, it was a whole different name I had. It was just backhanded. Everything that seems to do, it's got something to do with that. But my logo today is Bad Hand. So, and like I said, I explained that it's just we were all born bad, and it's just trying to have you good outweigh you bad more and more every day. So until we get to that place where we just feel good with ourselves all the time, as most as we can, because life is life. We have ups and downs, but so yeah, that's the. So I found Fourth Wall, and it's a drop shipping company, and it's along the lines of something I've been looking for, because not only can you have them drop ship stuff that they offer, you can also add in stuff you offer. Of course, you would be the one responsible for shipping, but if you already have a website and business, you can also do that, and they have memberships. And I was telling myself, because like I said, when I was with the Flip app, it was just like learning how to just stick with the program, right? Yeah, because I have been known to just start stuff, and like even with my social media, I'll start a channel and then I'll go start a different one. So learning how to stick with what I'm doing. Now I got my knitting and crochet stuff on Buy Me a Coffee, because I feel like it should have its own thing, and it shouldn't be in the mix with everything that I was doing already, because it's a whole different process of doing things. So Fourth Wall is something I feel like is part of what my brand is. It's just me being able to be an artist and create things, and I also need to get to creating other things elsewhere. I mean, it gives you the opportunity to use whatever they have already in their library of things, but I do have software that allows me to create different words and do different things, which is something I need to start back doing. It was just when I bought the software, I was trying to do these things, but I wasn't sure where I was going to put them. Yeah, I can print them off myself and put them on a shirt, but for some reason it wasn't just clicking with me to do that. So I feel like now I can go and create different things, different words, and different sayings, and continue my brand on Fourth Wall. I'm still learning it. I know you can do memberships on there. You can also do digital. You can do stickers. You can do. It seems to offer quite a bit. So yeah. So before, like, I think that was the only thing, because sometimes I won't pick up my laptop for a while. So it's making me have to. So because normally I do everything on a phone or my iPad. So it's just getting back in the mindset of using my laptop. So yeah, I like that. I'm not complaining about that. It's still a great idea for me, and different avenues. So these are two things I have up in the air as far as what I want to try, is the peddler's license, and continue to build my brand, and realizing, I think the Fourth Wall thing idea is me realizing I can't do it all by myself. So, and it's nothing wrong with asking for help. So sometimes help comes in different forms. So, and it's just realizing you can't do it all by yourself. So, and most times when you're trying to, that's when you get that, as they say, writer's block thing. So yeah, I think tomorrow most of the times in the morning when I go to work, it's a quiet time. It's more of my creative time to come up with something new. So I think, because I can only use the software on my iPad. So I will use the software I have and try to design some type of wording and different sayings, and kind of how I try to split it and do all these different techniques you can do with words. And so that's what we're gonna play around with tomorrow. Put on some shirts and do some things like that. So you could even put on socks. I mean, some years ago I was trying to design me some socks. I did design me some socks, and it was just like, hey. So I'm really excited to keep creating and learning. It's always a continuing education thing for me, I feel like. And I think, look, this is April. I mean, since this year started, I've just been so focused on what I'm doing and not really getting caught up in what other people want me to do, because that seems to be a thing all the time. People want you to take your focus off what you're doing and put your focus on something they doing, which is most of the stuff they doing is not beneficial. So, I mean, it's not even beneficial to them. So, and it's just learning that. And as today, it was just trying not to get in a rut, right? As far as making sure you stay consistent on whatever it is you're doing, right? So doing this podcast is what I'm trying to stay consistent on. You know, next week, I think it's the last Wednesday. I'll check into that, because on the last Wednesday of the month, we're not going to do a podcast. So just getting in the mindset, trying to make it a habit. I'm not scripted. I still keep not forgetting. I just get so busy to, record things throughout the week or whatever. Even if it's just topics, I really need to get in the mindset of doing that. Even like when I'm watching TV, if something stands out, just record it, because it could be a topic, it could be something, But anyway, that's another goal that we're going to try to do. I've been watching a lot of, I don't know, come out of your comfort zone type of movies and stuff. I feel like, because sometimes it's not easy to come out of your comfort zone for whatever you tell yourself in your mind that it might not work. And I'm just so comfortable in this spot, in this space of this mindset. But, there's nothing wrong with being in your comfort zone. If, it helps you be who you are. It helps you be creative. But sometimes you do want to come out and let other people see who you are and how creative you are. I feel like, I think that's why I feel like I'm not doing so bad, because of the way I was raised, like an only child or so. But I've still learned how to talk to other people and relate to other people. And so I feel like I'm not doing so bad. And I don't choose to compare myself with other people. And that's something other people have to figure out, where they keep lacking at. Where am I going wrong at? Like, I seem like I have a lot of friends, but I can't really lean on them in that way as a friend, as someone who truly, genuinely cares. Somewhere in my life, I've gone wrong with that. And I'm not talking about just in relationships with the opposite sex. It's just in a relationship with girls, period. No, you don't always have to be hanging on them and calling them out. But if it's somewhere you cannot really relate to them, and you always walk away feeling like it's some type of game, it's the only reason why they would come around you, And this is like a lifelong thing. It's not like just this since you come around somewhere. It's somewhere in your life you have to, one, take account of yourself. I mean, you reach a brick wall sometimes, I feel like, in life to where that's the only thing you can do. Have some kind of accountability for yourself. You know, like it would be hard to say people don't know what my life was like before this. Because it seems like that's all people have known is what my life has been like. But I don't know what other people's lives have been like before this is the point. I don't. So most of the times when I meet people, I'm meeting them right where they are. So I have no judgment for them from the past. Even if I've seen them before, I don't know what their life was truly like. I mean, in life there are programs people can go utilize, but not everybody who's utilizing a program is the same. And that's the point some people keep missing. You know, if I'm in a program, it don't mean whatever my life has been like is compared to yours, if that makes sense. So, and that's what people try to misjudge you at, because they'll see something or think everybody in one certain situation is the same, and until they approach you like they think you're the same as someone else, they either feel like they're right or they get their feelings hurt more often than not, because assumptions is not the answer. Now, I choose to try to get to know people first before I make judgments. But it don't take you forever and a day to get to know someone. Not get to know them where you know everything about them. Get to know them to the point where you know if you and them gonna connect. No. So, and most of the times that don't take long at all. You can meet somebody one day and realize that y'all just don't click. So it don't take you long to get to know somebody when it has something to do with you, as far as knowing if you guys connect. And that's the problem with people, because you deal with so many people make up the world, right? And again, not everybody thinks about things the same way. You know, the people have been looking at me for, like I say, ever and a day, and feel like because they see me alone all the time, I must be miserable or desperate for friends. And like I said, that's an assumption from the beginning. So, and it's not until you approach someone with that thought, and then they hurt your feelings. And your feelings stay hurt when you're dealing with them, because you just approached them wrong from the start. Because most of the people who feel that way, when you come to someone feeling like they desperate for a friend, it's not you really trying to be their friend, it's you trying to get something of theirs. So that's totally the wrong way to approach someone, and so therefore it becomes a bad thing from that point on, because who likes for people to approach them like they desperate for something? Unless they desperate or something. I mean, other than that, I don't know what people look like. Well, I guess I do have some kind of idea of what people look like who are desperate for something. So again, it would be how someone would need to go look at themselves. And if you see you always looking desperate for something, then most of the times you have to judge your friends look like that. I mean, like, do they look like me? And if they don't, they ain't walking around 50 times a day talking about they hungry, then most of the times, then that's just your look, and you have to go find some other people who do that, because anybody else gonna be offended by it. So, and I don't know, it's just so much stuff that common sense plays a part in. And if I'm still a firm believer that everyone has common sense. Whether they want to use it or not is different. But when you're dealing with people who have common sense, you're going to have to use it. Or you just going to be looking, it ain't no, I didn't know. Yeah, you knew. So, anyway, I didn't want to stay on here long. It was just that some of the ideas I'm working around in my head and talking about this common sense, it's something people really try to say they don't have, but there are studies to show that they do have it. So, like I said, you find a crowd that believes the same that you do, and that is the thing to religion, right? You mainly go to somewhere where you believe the same things they believe, and that's pretty much where you feel like common sense is. Common sense is okay. And even if you ain't going to one, common sense still tells you the same thing. And you'll look at that. That's what someone try to come around me for, but I'm the one that'll make you have to use common sense, because common sense ain't just saying you like me. Common sense says you need to go find all the stuff you need for your life. And because I ain't going to give it to you. To me, that's common sense. I don't need you to join my religion. I need you to go find your own. That's what I feel like. I'm not trying to get converts. I'm trying to get people to just buy what they like. Okay? I ain't throwing it out the window. But anyway, thank you guys. Hopefully this made some sense. I just didn't want to get in a rut. And just make sure I'm staying consistent. Consistent is the key. Common sense makes more sense to me. So do like and subscribe to all my platforms. And stay connected. Till then. Peace.
Pushing back, come what may. Load up the dreams, let them rise like the sun. This battle for a home. We're all in it, I won. We'll sing our blues, let the music play loud. Till the dawn breaks through, we'll dance through the crowd. It's a fight worth fighting with a heart full of pride. In this crazy world we won't run or hide. Yelling out loud about the cost of living high. It's a struggle every month, but I won't say goodbye. Well, the landlord's knocking on my door again, raising up the rent, can't believe where it's been. Friends all around say it's just the same old song, wondering how much longer I can hold on. It's a fight every month just to pay the dues, gotta stretch every dollar. Oh, what a ruse. Just got cost of living high. It's a struggle over my back, ready to cry. Rent keeps rising like a storm in the sky. Got my boots laced up cause I'm not saying goodbye. So here's to the dreamers, chasing those stars, stacking coins in a jar, trying to heal the scars. They say that hard work is what gets you by, but how can you thrive when the prices all fly? Yelling out loud, but the cost of living high. It's a struggle over my back, ready to cry. Rent keeps rising like a storm in the sky. Got my boots laced up cause I'm not saying goodbye. Now the city's buzzing but it's hard to stay warm. With the bills piling up we weather the storm. My heart full of passion but the wild feels thin. Fighting for a chance just to feel like we win. So shout it out loud, we're not going away. We'll keep on pushing back, come what may. Load up the dreams, let them rise like the sun. This battle for our home, we're all in it, I won.